What I'm doing right now is I am pulling up an app called Company Cam. This is probably one of the most important things I could talk about in a video. This is really the essence of what we get to do to help homeowners. He has a denied claim by State Farm. We already showed pictures up on the roof of the hail damage. It is textbook insurance fraud. And so what we're doing now is we're starting to go around the property and we're taking photo documentation evidence to be able to show that may be mechanical. I don't think the storm came in from this side, but I'm still going to take a picture of it to start creating a compelling narrative for State Farm that, hey, this was not a fair, accurate adjustment of it. And it wasn't. This was textbook insurance fraud. So siding looks pretty good. I'll still take some overviews just to kind of show it. It may have been protected with the eaves that you have, the overhangs and the angle and the way that these trees are lined up over here. But you can see back on look at the back of this AC unit. This is the most accurate representation of the size of hail per Hague. That's an engineering standard for damage. These fins are 80% the size of what the hail would be, so the hail would be a little bit larger than what's there. You can see he has some broken beading to this window up here. So again, I'm going to take some overviews to make this compelling case that it is a denied claim. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this together into a photo report to be able to show the adjuster. See, look at all this broken beading right here. Yeah, see, that's almost all the beading literally came out of there. So we're going to make a nice compelling case for the adjuster that this claim should not have been denied. And it's sad when this happens because you see it a lot happening to minority communities that are just underrepresented, especially if there is a language barrier, because you know they know that they can come out and deny the claim, and that it's very hard for them to get somebody to be their advocate, because you know, if it's hard to communicate with your adjuster, how are you going to complain, right? So we're actually going to get up on the roof now. That's what I did, was I just scouted the bottom part of the perimeter on the exterior to see kind of the collateral damage. That's called collateral, to see how much damage is around the perimeter to kind of make the case that there is damage. So they're looking for a 10 foot by 10 foot square to see how much damage is in that square. They're looking for 8 to 10 hail hits. This is not one of the worst sides, but it is still damaged. It's a 3-tab. The damage threshold for a 3-tab is 1-inch size hail. So if you have this type of roof and it gets hit with over 1-inch size hail, this 3-tab where they're real thin, have your roof looked at, because it could potentially be damaged. And now if it's quarter size, or if it's, you know, even larger hen size like what hit this roof, it's damaged. There's no question about it. It's not even debatable that this roof is damaged. It's not even debatable. It is damaged. And it's just incredible that they would deny it, and that they said they would say that there is no damage on this. You can see there's impacts all over it with broken matting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 8. So we got 8 hits on the north facing slope. North side, 8 plus. So I'm going to take some overviews, take some close-ups. So this is the north, it's the west slope. So you can see this side is the worst of all, the worst slope of all, because the storm came in from the west, southwest actually, so it's coming in this way. But this side is beat. But so if this happens, first you got to start off with a good roofer. He has to know what he's looking at. He has to know how this process works, where he does a re-inspection. Per state law, whether you're in Arkansas, many other states, you have one adjustment that you can do to have the second adjuster come out and look at it. There's no way that the adjuster either knew what he was doing, or he knew what he was doing and it was conscious and he was committing fraud on purpose, right? It was just fraud, insurance fraud. This roof is destroyed. I could sit here and chalk to, you know, all day. I could just sit here and keep chalking and chalking because there's so many hail hits on this roof, it's not even a debate of whether or not it's damaged. So then the roofer comes out, he scopes the property, he does a thorough re-inspection where he looks at everything, he gets square tests of everything, and then he resubmits it to the desk adjuster, because at this point, the person that looked at this property, originally the inspector, the field inspector, he's probably from Texas or he's probably from another state, and he's no longer assigned to this claim. That's usually how it is. So then you can scope the metals, right? This is collateral damage, you can see on here. All I gotta do is run some chalk on it. That thing is destroyed, right? So then this is the re-inspection process. Look at this side. This is the south side, of course, right? I'm gonna do the east just to prove a point to the State Farm adjuster that's here, but I mean, this thing is 35 hits per square plus. And this thing is obliterated. It's obliterated. I mean, I could just sit here, chalk, 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 hail hit, and you can see the size of it. This is obvious. You can see this from the ground. That's why you always got to have a roofer being as your advocate. If you're going to call your insurance company out and they're going to be there to look at your roof, the worst thing I hear is when somebody says, I'm going to call my insurance company directly. I'm going to call my agent directly. Bah, that's what that is. It's being a sheep. You know, you can't, they're a business. They're a business. I'm not saying it to be insulting, but they're a business and they're not your best friend. Just to wrap this video up, the main thing is have a roofer come to your property before you call your insurance company. There's no reason to have them come and look at the roof if it isn't damaged. And a good certified roofer with credentials can tell you whether or not you should even have them out at the first place. And then when you do have the insurance company out, you want to have that roofer there meet with the adjuster so that misrepresentation doesn't happen, like what's happening right here, where you have multiple slopes that have been hit with hen-size hail. The threshold for this shingle is 1-inch size hail and 2-inch size hail hit this roof, and they committed insurance fraud against him. They committed insurance fraud against the neighbor over here, and then all these roofs around here have already been replaced, and this homeowner is stuck, especially being in the financial position he is, where he got laid off by Tyson and he's collecting unemployment, and it's not fair to him to do this, and that he's a part of a minority community that's underrepresented, where they know he doesn't speak that well of English, so he's not going to be able to fight. Don't have them here to the property without having the roofer there, because that's where they're going to be able to go to bat for you, and they're going to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. And in this case, this homeowner got taken advantage of, so we're now doing a re-inspection process to get them back out at the property, and then we're going to submit 100 photos worth of photo documentation to be able to show this is a compelling case that the roof is damaged and that this was a misrepresentation, and really this was borderline insurance fraud. Call it for what it is, the F word. That's what this is, and it's a big no-no that this is happening. But how are you going to be able to do it if you're gullible and you act like a sheep and you call your insurance company out thinking that they're your friend when they're a business that is beholden to their stockholders and they're not beholden to you or your family? So just, I don't mean to say it in an insulting way, but don't be gullible and don't be a sheep, because that's how insurance companies make their money, is by gullible people that pay them premiums, and then when their roof gets damaged or their property gets damaged, they don't care that their insurance company just basically ripped them off, and then they keep donating money to them like a charity. So don't be that guy, don't be that person. I mean, thank God there's people out there that are that way, because it gives the rest of us the ability to have insurance, and that's the whole way that it works. But it's still not good if you care about your own interest, which I'm sure if you're watching this video you do. Make sure that you do it the right way and have somebody there, have an advocate for you. Don't go to court without an attorney. Don't go and meet with your insurance company without a roofer there to meet with the adjuster.